L'histoire n'est pas seulement le passé, c'est un avertissement pour le présent. Les leçons du général de Gaulle en 1944, prononcées au milieu des ruines de la France, nous rappellent que la tyrannie surgit lorsque les démocraties oublient leur raison d'être. Aujourd'hui, alors que les menaces réapparaissent, nous risquons de répéter les erreurs qui ont mené au désastre au siècle dernier. Les commémorations n'ont aucun sens si nous n'appliquons pas leurs leçons à notre époque. La liberté est fragile. Elle exige vigilance et courage, pas complaisance. La question est simple. Allons-nous enfin apprendre de l'histoire ou la laisser se répéter? The 20th century witnessed the terrifying rise of totalitarian regimes, a dark chapter in human history marked by unprecedented control and oppression. These regimes, fueled by extreme ideologies and charismatic leaders, sought to reshape societies in their own twisted image. Nazism in Germany, with its hateful rhetoric and expansionist ambitions, stands as a chilling example of the dangers of unchecked power. The Nazi Party, under the leadership of Adolf Hitler, systematically dismantled democratic institutions and unleashed a wave of violence and terror across Europe. Communism in the Soviet Union, under the iron fist of Joseph Stalin, promised a utopian society, but delivered a brutal reality of purges, forced labor camps, and the suppression of individual freedoms. The state controlled every aspect of life, from the economy to the arts, leaving no room for dissent or independent thought. These were systems that demanded total obedience, crushing any form of dissent with ruthless efficiency. Political opponents, religious minorities, and anyone deemed enemies of the state were persecuted, imprisoned, or even executed. Fear became a tool of control, silencing voices and stifling any challenge to the regime's authority. Democracies, still reeling from the aftermath of World War I, hesitated, clinging to the hope of peace and stability. They struggled to comprehend the scale of the threat posed by these aggressive ideologies and the willingness of their leaders to resort to violence. But appeasement, the policy of making concessions to avoid conflict, only emboldened the aggressors, allowing them to grow stronger and more confident in their pursuit of expansion and domination. The Munich Agreement, a desperate attempt to appease Hitler by ceding territory in Czechoslovakia, became a symbol of failure, a stark reminder of the dangers of underestimating the ambitions of dictators. The dictators exploited negotiation as a tactic to buy time, to consolidate their power, and to prepare for further aggression, all while deceiving the world about their true intentions. Today, we see the rise of new autocrats, figures like Vladimir Putin in Russia, who employ similar tactics of repression and expansionism, and Xi Jinping in China, consolidating power and tightening control over society. We also witness this in North Korea, under the Kim dynasty, and in Iran, with its theocratic regime. These regimes, despite their different contexts and ideologies, reproduce the same patterns of authoritarian control. They suppress dissent through censorship, surveillance, and violence, violating international law with impunity, and threatening global stability through their aggressive actions. Their ambitions are not limited to their own borders. They seek to project power and influence on a global scale. They seek to reshape the world order in their own image, challenging the principles of democracy, human rights, and international cooperation. The parallels with the 1930s are undeniable, a chilling reminder of the fragility of peace and the ever-present threat of authoritarianism. We promised never again, vowing to learn from the mistakes of the past and to stand united against tyranny. And yet, here we are, facing the same dangers, the same threats to freedom and democracy that haunted the 20th century. The lessons of history must not be forgotten. Les autocrates d'aujourd'hui ne sont pas isolés, ils forment un nouvel axe, unis par leur hostilité à la démocratie. La Russie, la Chine, la Corée du Nord et l'Iran se coordonnent militairement, économiquement et technologiquement, défiant l'Occident. La Chine soutient la guerre de la Russie en Ukraine. La Corée du Nord fournit des armes. L'Iran fournit des drones mortels. Leur alliance est réelle et leur objectif est de démanteler l'ordre d'après 1945. L'invasion de l'Ukraine est le test le plus clair de la détermination du monde libre. Ignorer cette menace coordonnée, c'est répéter les erreurs les plus graves de l'histoire. La nouvelle 5e colonne est numérique, insidieuse et omniprésente. Des mouvements populistes, amplifiés par des régimes étrangers, sapent la démocratie de l'intérieur, minant ses fondements. La Russie et la Chine transforment la désinformation en arme, une arme redoutable, propageant le chaos et la méfiance via les réseaux sociaux à une vitesse alarmante. Ces campagnes fracturent dans les sociétés, paralysent de l'action et érodent la foi en la liberté. Une nation divisée ne peut pas résister aux menaces extérieures. Le champ de bataille numérique est désormais la ligne de front dans la lutte pour la démocratie. Malgré des menaces croissantes, de nombreux dirigeants occidentaux restent dans le déni, s'accrochant au dialogue. Quand la force est nécessaire, nous restreignons la capacité de l'Ukraine à se défendre, offrant un sanctuaire aux adversaires et enhardissant l'agression. La dissuasion nucléaire, autrefois notre bouclier, est devenue une cage psychologique. Notre peur est désormais l'arme de l'ennemi. La dissuasion exige crédibilité et détermination, pas timidité. Les menaces des autocrates sont souvent des bluffs, mais notre réticence à agir ne fait que les encourager. Notre inaction risque de répéter les erreurs du passé avec des conséquences encore plus grandes. L'Europe doit se réveiller. The time for complacency is over. Europe must awaken to the new realities of the 21st century. A world fraught with challenges and uncertainties that demand a bold and decisive response. Et prendre la responsabilité de sa propre sécurité. It's time to step up and take ownership of its own security destiny. For too long, Europe has relied on others to guarantee its safety, but those days are coming to an end. L'ère de la dépendance à la protection américaine touche à sa fin. The era of dependence on American protection is drawing to a close. Shifting geopolitical landscapes and evolving priorities necessitate a fundamental reassessment of Europe's security posture. L'autonomie stratégique est désormais essentielle. Strategic autonomy is now essential, not just a desirable goal, but a vital necessity for Europe's survival and prosperity in a dangerous world. Cela signifie investir dans la défense. This means investing in defense, committing the necessary resources to build a robust and capable military force that can deter aggression and protect European interests. Intégrer les forces militaires. It means integrating military forces, fostering greater cooperation and interoperability among European armies to create a unified and effective defense capability. Et développer une vision stratégique partagée. And it means developing a shared strategic vision, forging a common understanding of the threats facing Europe and how best to address them through coordinated action. L'Europe doit devenir une véritable puissance. Europe must become a true power, a force to be reckoned with on the global stage, capable of shaping events and defending its values. Capable de défendre ses intérêts et ses valeurs. Capable of defending its interests and its values. Standing up for what it believes in and protecting its citizens from harm. L'inaction enhardira les autocrates. Inaction will embolden autocrats, sending a signal of weakness that will only encourage further aggression and destabilization, et menacera l'avenir de la liberté sur le continent, and threaten the future of freedom on the continent, undermining the democratic values and principles that have underpinned peace and prosperity for decades. Une victoire russe en Ukraine. A Russian victory in Ukraine would have catastrophic consequences for Europe and the world. Briserait le principe selon lequel les frontières ne peuvent être changées par la force. It would shatter the principle that borders cannot be changed by force, setting a dangerous precedent that would embolden other aggressors and destabilize the international order. Le choix est clair. Devenir une puissance. The choice is clear. Become a power, a strong and independent actor on the world stage, capable of defending its interests and values. Ou devenir un terrain de jeu pour les ambitions des autres. Or become a playground for the ambitions of others, a pawn in a game played by forces beyond its control. L'avenir de la démocratie en Europe est en jeu. The future of democracy in Europe is at stake, and the time to act is now. De Gaulle avait averti. His words, spoken decades ago, resonate with an uncanny prescience today. He understood the delicate balance upon which peace and prosperity are built. Que la division et un leadership faible, a lack of resolve, a fracturing of unity, invitant au désastre. They opened the door to chaos, to conflict, to the very destruction we strive to prevent. The lessons of history are stark and unforgiving. Aujourd'hui, le combat de l'Ukraine est notre combat. Their struggle is not distant, not abstract. Leur lutte pour la liberté est un test pour toute l'Europe. It is a crucible in which our values are resolved and our unity are being tested. The outcome will define the future of our continent. L'indifférence n'est pas seulement une faute morale. It is not simply a failure of compassion, c'est un risque stratégique. It is a vulnerability that can be exploited, a weakness that can be turned against use. Nous sommes à la croisée des chemins. We stand at a critical juncture, a moment of profound consequence. Les générations futures nous jugeront sur nos actions d'aujourd'hui. Our children and their children will look back and assess whether we rose to the challenge, whether we defended the values we claim to hold dear. La défense de la liberté commence par reconnaître qu'elle est attaquée. It begins with acknowledging the threat, with understanding the forces arrayed against us. Que ce soit un appel à l'action, a call to stand firm, to stand together, une Europe unie, forte et souveraine, un phare de la liberté. A beacon of hope, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. Les enjeux sont immenses. The stakes could not be higher. Choisissons la force. Let us choose strength, resilience and unwavering resolve. Choisissons la liberté. Let us choose freedom for ourselves, for our children, and for all those who yearn to breathe free.